Can you hear me? No. No. Well, I am. I'm switched on, baby. No. Don't go down that path. Can you hear me now? Great. That's good. Please lie on your back. Check out your neural maps this morning. What a weird way of talking, check out your neural maps. You are just a projection of your neural maps. Oh my God. You see, when you actually believe, when you take all of that stuff to the nth degree, that statement is actually true. You are just a projection of your neural maps. You are just a projection of your neural activity. Oh my God, what a frightening thought that is. Frightening because it's totally inaccurate. But there are scientists, there are neuroscientists in the world that actually believe that. You are the sum total of your neural activity, and your idea of yourself is an illusion. You're totally mistaken. Crazy. Crazy because it's not the whole story. It's only part of the story. Remember a little bit about what we were doing yesterday afternoon at the end of the day. Remember how you were lying on your back and holding your toes? Right toe with the right hand, left toe with the left hand, and that you were just playing about with taking the knee inside, outside, both knees to the outside of one arm, both knees to the outside of the other arm. Remember all of that? Now, some of you weren't here, so that's why I'm kind of repeating it. And then remember, you came up to sitting and you started to explore the same things in sitting, lifting both feet from the floor, putting them down, lifting both feet, taking one knee in, the other knee in, one knee out, the other knee out, and then exploring all the various combinations, all while balancing on your bottom. And some of you were really clever and just rolled out of it when you lost your balance. Remember, I made a comment about that. How clever it was to just let yourself roll and lose your balance rather than trying to hold on. Very intelligent. Keep recalling some of the things that you remember doing. And the thing about balancing on your bottom is that balancing, as far as your nervous system is concerned, is a really important function. And if we're going to talk about the nervous system as a person, the nervous system gets really interested. It like kind of wakes up going, hey, wait, we're balancing here. Better stay awake for this. So really, your nervous system is firing on all cylinders. It's awake. So anything that you learn in that state has a larger probability of sticking for a little while. Please, come up to sit. Take hold of your right big toe with your right hand and your left big toe with your left hand. Just in the way we've been doing. And notice, how lightly can you lift one foot and put it down, and how lightly can you lift the other foot? So track the lightness. Become a connoisseur in lightness. Different gradations. Ah, this is light. Oh, wait a minute. That's even lighter than the time before. Oh, no, that was heavier. So over a few repetitions, could you experiment with making it lighter and then definitely making it heavier, so that you clearly start to know inside yourself what you must do to make the leg feel heavier and what you must do to make the leg feel lighter. Lighter and heavier to lift. So try this little variable. As you lift the right foot, intentionally lean more on your right buttock. Is that heavier or lighter? I can't tell. It's up to you. It's your sensation, not mine. And now as you lift your right foot, shift your weight onto the left buttock. Is that heavier or lighter? And try the same thing out with the left foot. As you lift the left foot, shift the weight intentionally onto the left buttock. Is the leg lighter or heavier to lift? And then still lifting the left foot, intentionally shift your weight onto the right buttock. And notice, does that change in one element make a difference? However, you might need to track whether you start to do things differently in your chest, in your torso, in your head, in your neck. So it might sound like a simple variable, but the repercussions through yourself might be quite complex. Now, the next time that you go to lift the right foot, shift your weight onto the back of the pelvis. Does that make it heavier or lighter? And you know what to do. Now do the complete opposite. As you lift the right foot, shift your weight to the front of the sit bones. Oh, there's an answer. That is the sound of heaviness. You got that sound? That was good. The sound of a heaviness is ah. Thanks, Ray. I'll pay you later. Thanks. Great. Do the same experiment with the right left foot. Now do the same experiment but with both feet. Lift both feet together simultaneously and do that trying to bring your weight to the front of the sit bones, and then do that taking your weight to the back of the sit bones, and notice which way of lifting the feet makes it lighter. So do the one that's lighter, and then pay careful attention to your breathing. And when I say careful, I just mean attend closely. As you lift the feet, is there any tendency to clamp down on your breathing, to actually stop the breathing movements? And does that make the feet lighter to lift or heavier? Now, if you wanted to, you could keep asking the same question again and again, and just introduce one variable after another. So another variable would be, does it make the feet lighter to lift or heavier if you compress your spine? In other words, try to pull it together like it was really kind of being compressed from the top. or whether you keep the spine kind of spacious, the back spacious, so there's room between the vertebrae. And then does it make it lighter or heavier to lift if you contract your pelvic floor or not? Or try this. The next time you go to lift your feet, purse your lips together. You know how some people purse their lips in disapproval? Not sure though. Do that. See if the legs become lighter or heavier. Yeah. Interesting, huh? Your mouth says disapproval, your eyes say happy. When you make that shape with your mouth, can you feel that something happens in your gut, in the flexor muscles? Great. Let that be and rest, please. So as you can experience lots of different things, lots of different variables have an effect on our sense of lightness and heaviness. And if you're lucky enough to be one of those people that are extremely proprioceptively sensitive, then of course, one small change in one variable makes a big difference in your experience of the movement. The rest of us are trying to emulate that. Please come up to sit. And sit in an asymmetrical fashion so that you're facing the front of the room with your torso. Have your right leg behind, bent behind, the heel close to the right buttock, and have the left leg in front with the foot close to the right knee. That's it. Lean on your right hand behind you. And now place your left hand on your thigh, on your right thigh. Now start to take the hand down the thigh in the direction of your knee and come back. Just do that. And please remember, if this starts to get tough going, sitting on the floor, get yourself some blue mats and sit up on a blue mat. And if that's still tough going, please find a table, sit on a table. So you could have one leg on the floor and the other leg back. Yes, find a way to make this possible for yourself. Now, put your left hand on your right knee. Put your left hand on your right knee. And from the right knee, start to slide that left hand in the direction of the right ankle. That's it. Yeah, you'd be good if you're up on something, I think. Yeah, see, you had it there. Good. You're leaning on with the right hand behind you on the floor, and you're taking your left hand. You can't do it? Well, just pretend you're touching. Just pretend. How far can you reach easily? With the left hand. Yeah? Yeah, you can reach your knee easily. Well, just explore that distance from knee to hip joint, knee to hip joint. Try sitting up on something higher. The change in height might make a difference. That's all right. Don't force, don't force, don't force, don't force. Lean on your right ankle with your right hand. Yeah, now try that. A little bit, yeah. That better? Great, do that. So now, just with your left hand, go along the thigh to the knee, from the knee down the shin, and if you can, give your foot a tickle. Yeah, tickle, tickle. You know that they've just discovered that there are tickle receptors? No, no, really, no, I'm being serious, I'm not having you on. No, they've just, in neuroscience research, now they've discovered that there are some touch receptors that are specific for tickle. See, we find out all sorts of weird things in science. And all those people that years ago got mocked, I have tickle receptors. Like, no, you don't. You're just imagining it. Vilified. Pay close attention to what you do with your head and your eyes. If you're having difficulty sliding that left hand around, just put the left hand where it's comfortable. Stay comfortable, just there, just comfortable. No, don't go huff. Just where it's comfortable. And then with your eyes, do the movement as if you were looking down the shaft of your thigh, looking with your eyes down your leg towards your foot. And you can just do that in your imagination with your eyes closed, as if your eyes were tracking the shape of your right leg. I just suggested a way. Yeah, just imagine. There must be other ways? Yes, there are. So if that's difficult, can you breathe in that position?
No.
No. So in that case, you lean on this hand, lean on that hand, just look forward of yourself, close your eyes, close your eyes. Now, with your eyes closed, can you imagine where your right knee is?
Yeah.
Yeah? So clearly imagine where your right knee is. And now, just with your eyes, think, looking from your knee down your right leg. Just think, just think, just think. Looking down the right leg towards your right ankle. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
And now imagine your way back to the knee. Just that. And eventually go past the ankle to the foot. Imagine the underneath of the foot. And then with your eyes, with your imagination, make your way back. Now you're breathing. I just saw you breathe. Very good. Okay. So there is a way. But it's specialized. It's something just for you. And for other individuals that can't get there, like me. So remember, the first step is to go from what is seemingly impossible to create something that at least you sense in yourself is possible. Is that now possible? Yes? Great. Now, the next trick is, do you believe that that's going to make a difference? Maybe. Well, yeah. Well, the fact that you took an easy breath in suggests to me that it does. Yes? Yeah, that's it. Let that be and rest, please. So by the end of 4 years, you will have learned a lot of the tricks of the trade. That's what the training is about, right? How to think like a Feldenkrais practitioner, how to act like a Feldenkrais practitioner, how to solve problems like a Feldenkrais practitioner. But there's no full stop at the end of that. It's like every trade, every profession. You learn the rudimentary elements and then you go out and you start crafting things, crafting new elements that some of us actually have never experimented with before. And then the best thing that you can do is share it with your colleagues. Please come up to sit. Sit in an asymmetrical fashion, but with the left foot behind and the right leg in front. And now lean on the floor behind you with your left hand. And if that's not possible, lean on your ankle. And if that's not possible, don't lean at all with the left hand. Place your right hand on your right thigh and start to slide your hand down your thigh towards your knee and then past your knee towards your ankle and then from your ankle towards your foot. Oh, did I say right arm, right leg? Sorry. Right arm, left leg. My apologies. Thanks, Ray. A couple of more peanuts coming your way. And if this is difficult, just lean on the right hand and imagine your right hand traveling down the left leg. And you can use your hand to track, you can use your eyes to track the imaginary hand. Now that's a piece of research that was done years ago. And even that took a while to hit mainstream. That imagining something actually produces changes, not just in the nervous system, but even in the size of muscular tissue. You imagine lifting weights and the cross-section of muscular tissue increases. How the hell does that work? Haven't even lifted a weight and I've just gotten stronger. And I bet it was some sort of smart coach that said, I can use this. I can use this to train my athletes. And they did. Please feel free to take the weight over your pelvis wherever it makes it easy to breathe, wherever it creates lightness in your trunk. If you're feeling scrunched up, back off. Because the thing that you're trying not to wire in is the sensations of being scrunched up. The more you can stay spacious, the more you can stay light, they're the kinds of sensations that you want to foster. Because there's only a few individuals in this world that want to create that ability to feel scrunched up. Actors. And only because they need to play certain characters that have to represent being scrunched up. Great, let that be in rest, please. Let it be in rest. Now, the one thing I don't know, you remember that experiment with the monkey that I told you about? How on earth did Mersnick even entice the monkey to get their finger into that hole? What was the motivation? Maybe so, yeah. Hunger. You think he starved the monkey first? Sounds like a good experimental technique. Please, come up to sit again. Sit in that asymmetrical fashion with the right foot behind you and the left leg in front. And now please feel free to adjust your legs a little bit to allow you to do the next bit. Lean on your left hand somewhere behind you if that's comfortable. And now with your right hand, take hold of the little toe of the right foot, the foot behind. Oh, no, you won't be lifting it. But just take hold of the little toe like, just take hold of it like that was your little toe. Just hold the little toe and then start to move that little joint where the toe meets the foot, just here. Start to move that joint as if you wanted to bring the sole of the foot, turn it towards the floor, and then take the sole of the foot and turn it away from the floor. So you're just moving the foot like that. There, 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 there. Just like that. So don't hold the toe itself, but hold where the toe actually meets the foot. So that first knuckle there, what is it, the phalangeal, metacarpal joint, whatever it is. And then move one joint along. Go to the next knuckle and do the same thing. Move that place as if you wanted to turn the sole of the foot towards the floor and then turn the sole of the foot away from the floor. Not easy. Getting there. Okay. Move along to the next knuckle.
Towards the tip.
Towards the big toe, yes.
Move to the second toe of the knuckle.
Yeah, the middle toe. Yeah, go for the middle toe. Is it easier if you put your hand in front? Yeah, it's easier. Good. Oh, that's better. Okay. Keep on experimenting. And now go to the toe that's next to the big toe. And now take the big toe and then all of the toes together. Yeah, so when I say toes, I mean that big knuckle at where the toes start on the foot. And now turn all of the toes so that the sole goes a little bit towards the floor and a little bit away from the floor. Great. Now, return to the large knuckle on the first toe again, the little baby toe, the pinky toe, return there. And now instead of turning the foot, could you lift that knuckle so that the toes separate, so that the first knuckle separates away from the knuckle next to it? So basically lifting it towards the ceiling. And notice when you pull the toe, when you pull the knuckle like that, how it's a different movement of the foot. Now the sole isn't turning towards the floor or away. The forefoot kind of just starts to lift away from the floor. Can you feel that? And does that create any effect further up along the leg? Maybe you can sense something in the knee. For some of you, as you pull that knuckle, you'll sense something happening in the pelvis. Shift to the next toe along. Shift to the next knuckle along. Lift it. Move it away from the knuckle next to it and then put it down. Lift it, put it down. And now shift to the middle knuckle. Somewhere where it's comfortable, yeah, leaning on it, yes. And now shift to the knuckle next to the big toe. And now take hold of the big toe knuckle and hold all of the toe knuckles in your right hand and lift the forefoot a little bit away from the floor and put it down. Great. And now hold the toes of the foot. So just wrap your right hand around the top of the toes of the foot so that you're holding all 5 toes. And now pick the leg up and bring it around in front. And take it back again. Just that. Yeah, so now this is a 4th way of holding the foot. You've got hooking the big toe, you've got holding the outside edge, you've holding the inside edge, and now you've got holding the toes. So a 4th way of holding the foot. Bring the foot around in front, put it down, let it alone, and rest. Rest, rest, rest. As you're resting, notice if moving your knuckles of the foot and twiddling with the toes and all of that has changed your sensory perception of your right foot, has changed your sense of your right leg, has changed your sense of yourself in any way. Now, this is the after effect. You're looking. Is it the same foot?
I'm looking at the toes curl here, not?
On the left, they're more curled. On the right, they're just a little bit less curled.
Oh, yeah,
And I have a different perspective. This one's more curled. Please come up to sit. Let's explore the same thing on the other side. So sit in that asymmetrical position with your left leg behind. Lean on the floor with your right hand and take hold of the knuckle of the first toe, or whichever number toe that is. I always forget. Which is the first toe? There's a big toe or little toe? Which is, big toe is number one? Numero uno, the big boss. Okay, now I shall remember. Take hold of the knuckle of the fifth toe and start to twiddle it. Start to twiddle it so that the sole of the foot is kind of enticed to go towards the floor, and then the sole of the foot is enticed to face away from the floor. So please don't be a drill sergeant to your foot. You know what a drill sergeant is? It's the sergeant that trains the new recruits in the army. And you know, in the army, when you train recruits, you train them to obey orders without any disagreement. It's a one-way set of communication. You jump, I say jump, you jump. So don't treat your toes like a drill sergeant. Let those little corporals also have a say. Go to the knuckle of the fourth toe. And it's interesting, speaking of soldiers and knuckles, that the toes, the bones of the toes are called phalanges. And in Sparta, in ancient Sparta, the way that they used to fight was side by side with their shields in front, lined up. And they used to call that line up a phalanx. So you could say that this is not a Latin word, this is a word with a Greek root. And the phalanges are like little soldiers lined up facing the world ahead of you. Go to the knuckle of the third toe. Yes, of course.
Yes, thank you.
Now you got something. See, now that's good. I like that. There must be, that's good. That is exactly the kind of thinking you want. There must be a way. There must be a way to make yourself comfortable. And this is where you're lucky, where you don't have Feldenkrais teaching you, because he would have now castigated you and saying, why didn't you think of that before? Why did you take so long? Are you an idiot? Ah, yes, the school of tough love. Thank God. Go to the knuckle of the second toe. And this is what it's like all the time when you're using your hands. You've got an idea in mind, you want to take the foot this way and that way, but at the same time that you're executing your intention, you're also executing a second intention, which is to actually pay a close attention to where the toes are ready to go and not to contradict in any way. go to the knuckle of the first toe and hold all 5 knuckles together and twiddle the knuckles so that the sole of the foot tends towards the floor and then tends to face away from the floor. And when you make that big movement involving all 5 knuckles, notice, do you have any sense of movement happening in your knee? Of movement happening in your hip joint? In the pelvis? In your lower back? Do you sense any weight shift? Great. Now, let go. Go right back to the knuckle of the 5th toe and start to pull on that knuckle as if you wanted to separate it away from the knuckle of the 4th toe. So as if you wanted to create more space between the toes. And for some of you, immediately you'll get a different sense of the movement that's happening through your leg, across your pelvis into your back. And go to the next knuckle along. Go to the 4th knuckle. And then go to the 3rd knuckle, the middle knuckle. And go to the 2nd knuckle. And now take hold of the 1st knuckle so that you have all 5 knuckles in your grip, and lift the whole forefoot away from the floor and put it down. And this will be quite different if you have your ankle extended compared to having your ankle flexed. So if it's possible, do this with your ankle flexed, with it bent, as if you were standing. Right? Now, lift the foot and take it around in front of you, and then bring it behind you again. Do that many, many times. And as you take the foot around to in front of you, pay attention. How close does your left knee get to your left armpit? As you go underneath that arm with the knee, how close does the knee get to the armpit? If it gets close to the armpit, see if it's possible, as the knee is passing under, to just tuck the knee into the armpit and hold the knee with the armpit and let go of the foot. Da-da-da! And then you take hold of the foot and you continue. As Maxwell Smart would say, the old holding the knee in the armpit trick. Great, try that with the other leg. Get hold of the toes, take the foot behind and in front, and as you're passing the knee underneath the arm, see if it's possible to just tuck that knee into the armpit and just suspend the leg, holding the leg with the armpit. And if you can't get to the armpit, the bicep will do. That's it. Okay, won't fit? Oh, that's fine. Yeah, you got using your tricep. Okay, great. Let that be in rest, please. Let it rest. Right, now come on up to sit. And for those of you who wish to, please hold onto the feet from the outside edges over the top. And for those of you who want to stay hooking the big toes, hook the big toes. Lift one foot from the floor, put it down. Lift the other foot from the floor, put it down. Alternate, right, left, right, left. Notice what that feels like, having twiddled with all the toes. Highly technical word, twiddle. Remember that for your technical vocabulary in Feldenkrais, the twiddling. Great. And now lift both feet, put them down. And then flip one knee in. And then as you take that knee out, flip the other knee in. That's it. So there's always one knee inside an arm. That's it. Great. Now flip both knees in. And then both knees out. Great. And now flip both knees in, then flip both knees to the outside of the right arm, and then flip both knees in, and then flip both knees to the outside of the left arm. And yes, by all means, roll backwards. And now in one go, flip the knees from the outside of the left arm to the outside of the right arm. That's it. Nice. Whoop, whoop. Yeah. That's it. Great. Okay. Put the feet down, rest a moment. Just rest a moment. Come on up to sit one more time. And take hold of the feet so that the palms of the hands are on the soles of the foot and you're holding the outside edge. Lift both feet from the floor and bring the knees to the inside of the arms. And if this is not possible to do with both legs together, just do one leg at a time. From the inside, holding the soles. That's it. Yep, please don't feel like you have to do both legs. Do one leg. And then once the knees are inside, take both feet backwards. So it's this way. Yeah. So once the knees are inside, take both feet backwards. That's it. And notice, is it possible to bring the knees towards the floor in front of you as the feet go backwards? What? Who's laughing? Remember, you can do one leg at a time, right? One leg at a time. It's all right. Yeah, see, there you go. Right, so it is possible, one leg at a time. That's great. That's great. Yeah, there we go. How to get out of it, right? Yes, and so now you have to somehow curl yourself and take the head backwards. Yeah, that's it, that's it, that's it. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. For some of you, getting one leg behind is totally possible. For others, getting 2 feet behind is possible, and only for a few is it possible to get both knees to the floor. That's okay, take your time. See, this is where it's a good thing not to remember what you did as babies. Because now you'd be comparing yourself, oh my God, when I was 3 months old, I used to be able to do this. But like I said yesterday, when you were 3 months old, your hip joints were hardly there. Great, let that be. Rest completely. Sense yourself lying on the floor. How do you experience yourself? And maybe you will experience yourself differently if you're treating yourself like a drill sergeant, making the army of the body obey, or if you treated yourself like a human being. In that kind of society that we all want to live in, where everybody is mutually respectful of everybody else. So your body is just the same kind of microcosm. You can treat yourself like a drill sergeant and be an army, or you can treat yourself like a human being living in a human society of the best kind. Same thing. Please roll to one side, come up to standing, experience what it's like to stand. Take your time, don't be in a hurry. Now this is the tricky moment, because now you have all very well established patterns that maintain your uprightness. Now old patterns are meeting new patterns in a really intense way. So how do you stay in that open space where new sensations can continue for a little while? Walk a little bit and see if it's possible to stay in that space where the new sensations can continue a little while. Feeling okay? Great. Please go have a break. We'll come back.